Perhaps more famous for their triple crown, the triple barreled shotgun, this is the Double Crown by Akkar. Starting with the case, it's just an ABS case, comes with a full set of 5 chokes, there's 3 extra internals in there, a choke key and a manual, which also has an exploded diagram in it, which actually is quite cool. Quite nice to see all the bits inside your gun, and if anything ever does arise, you can kind of isolate stuff. Not that it will break, so don't worry about it. Because actually, Akkar, as Turkish makers go, do produce pretty solid stuff. Onto the gun. Starting at the back, you have one of these overmolded pads that is half overmolded and have the back half fitted to the gun. So you have a half hand fitted pad with the back bit clipped on. Quite popular on Turkish guns actually, and I don't find it abhorrent. You're moving on, you have a grade 2 stock. So you've got a nice bit of fiddle back in there. They're not too exotic, but it's not bad at the same time. This is the Double Crown trap. So it has the adjustable Monte Carlo stock. There is a sporting version which just has the plain stock, which I have seen actually, but this is by far superior. The adjustable comb is done on a significantly smaller Allen key than any other brand you've ever seen. Has 2 risers, can move left, right, up and down. Nicely done. Not the most exotic bit of hardware, but significantly better than a lot of the other budget options out there. At least it's got a full-size base plate. You know, it's not bad, that's what I'm going to say. It's not bad. The bit that endears me to this gun is the grip section. The stock, the grip, and actually a lot of it endears me to it, strangely. The grip is a full 90-degree pistol grip with palm swell. For those of you who like trap guns or like big heavy grips, you have to spend a lot of money in other brands to get this sort of fullness of grip. And actually, it's really nice. It's quite a reach for the trigger, and you can choke up around the neck because you have quite a big dip down the back here. So you can, with smaller hands, reach up for it, but you realistically need a larger hand or a medium to large hand to enjoy this gun. The safety catch is manual with a selector, very simple, push back, left, right and up. Quite nicely designed, not too rough or anything like that, and actually does allow for ease of movement, although it is not the most stylish of safety catches. The action is plain, apart from the Double Crown engraving with the gold trigger. It really is not an exciting looking gun unless you like a plain gun, in which case actually it's really nice. One thing that strikes me is the wood to metal fit on this is really good. There's a little bit of rounding on the edges where it's been done by hand into the action, but actually that join there is, exceptional is a strong word, above average, very above average. The metal to metal fit is slightly less good on the forend here, but you'll get over that. Checkering wise, it's actually the reversed pattern checkering, which is not to my taste, but it provides an ample grip. The forend is a semi-beaver tail. If we have a little look at it, you can see that it's not entirely as full as perhaps it could have got away with on a trap gun, but its size is quite nice. Where it's quite a deep action anyway, the fullness is there. You know, probably could have done with being an extra sort of 2mm wider on either side just to be perfect, but you can't have everything. Just on a standard pull lever, and the forend loop is nothing exotic whatsoever. The rib has a slight step up to it, and this is a 32-inch gun. They do come in short barrel lengths. A 32-inch gun. The rib has a slight step, and all those bridges have a slight angle to them. It's kind of reminiscent of something a little bit more tasty, like a Summit Impact. You know, it has some style around it, this gun. Comes with a double bead sight, 5 extended chokes, and an orange bead on the front. It's steel proofed. It is 18.4 bored. That's quite a nice feature for those of you who care. The ejectors are done on a fairly simple system, running from the push rods at the bottom here that also cock the gun. The ejector system is very simple. There's no ejector work in the forend, only a cocking shoe at the back that cocks independent cocking levers there. But these cocking levers, upon firing, actually, if we just drop that forward, which is done on a little tab in there, push that down, top lever will go back. If you fire this gun, you'll notice that these shoot forward, and as they shoot forward, these little bits here connect with these. As the ejectors are pushed in, they're pushed, as the ejectors are pushed in when the gun's closed, they're pushed up into there, and as the gun is opened, it's pushed by these two channels down, and the gun ejects. To remove said ejectors, quite simply, push these in, and these things will go. So you push in these two little plungers here, one there, put a bit of tension on those ejectors, pull them down, the ejectors will come out. It's a nice, simple system. It's a rip-off of plenty of other ideas, which is never a bad way to go when you're coming up with something new. The proof in the pudding with a lot of these Turkish guns is the internal action design, so before we finish up, let's pop the stock off, have a little look inside. It's a very simple action. It's got a couple of bits of Browning and Radzini sort of flavour about it. Hammers, top sears. If we pull the safety back, you'll see that sear is inertia fed. You know, there's a little bit of wobble and a little bit of creep, but that's not the end of the world in the trigger and some of those parts. At least it's not stiff or graunchy in any way. One thing I do like is the fact that these firing pins aren't retained with a pin. They're actually retained, the strikers, with little screw-in discs behind. That's quite a nice touch. It shows that it's not just being slung together in any old way. There is a little bit of engineering finesse about that. This whole trigger plate will remove with all of your bits, so it's quite easy to clean and service. And where there isn't many parts, fingers crossed, there's not a huge amount to go wrong. In fact, the Triple Crown's had a fairly good rate of success in terms of reliability. And the Double Crown is much the same from what I understand. The downfall came with this gun is the fact that they kind of outpriced themselves from the market. Let's put it back together and talk about that. The problem is that in the UK market we put a value on guns really according to where they're made. A Turkish gun now, and in the last few years, can't really cost more than about $650 unless it's prettier, which is a shame. And hence this gun, which was priced significantly more than that new, fell out of favour, and as such the importer stopped importing it, which is a shame. Obviously in my head I would have loved it if this gun was available for sub £1,000 brand new nowadays, because it really would give ATA, Korfs and Yildits a run for its money. This is a very serious and competitive clay gun to feel, to look at in every way. Downsides, maybe long-term reliability, probably worth mentioning. The trigger pulls are not tip-top, but they're not bad. You know, it's not a bad gun. In fact, I really like it. But you can't get them new anymore and probably won't be able to for a while, and if they do, they will not be cheap. So keep your eyes out for a second-hand one. I'm not a huge fan of the basic sporting model. They're a little bit too unassuming. This guy has some serious character, and I've been endeared to it ever since it came in the shop. That weight, the grip, everything just screams to me that this is a more serious gun than the price tag actually relates to. Guys, thank you very much for watching. This has been brilliant. This is the Akkar Double Crown Trap. Take care, goodbye, and I'll see you next time.